Hey, what is up, guys? Oblivious here, and today we're going to be going through some of the picks I made in episode number 2 of the Pick'em podcast, and welcome to episode number 3. This is episode number 3, obviously. So I gave out on episode number 1, I gave out a bunch of college football picks that I had to kind of wait for them to finish up. They're right here on the screen right here, and then I'm going to go through them, and then also episode 2, I'll just go through the picks that I made there, which are over here. So, as I said, I'm going to keep like a running record of everything, which is somewhere on the screen. I think it's over there is my guess, or it could be over here. I'm not really sure. It's on the screen somewhere. You guys can see it, of my overall record and then my parlay record. And we're going to be making some more picks today. I know I'm negative. I think I'm 5-0-7 in singles bets. So I have 0 draws, 5 wins, 7 losses. So not good right now, but gambling is you're not always going to win. You just got to I'm going to try to just make so many picks over the course of the whole like 50 episodes or something that eventually I'll be positive and, making you guys money and myself money. So I did win a lot of money this weekend during college football, but I didn't really win on the picks I made because I do a lot of like live betting and stuff, and I wasn't obviously going to make like an emergency video. Maybe I'll do that. I'll do like a watch through of college football and just have like a 3-hour session where I just record myself, but then break it down. Actually, that wouldn't work. I'd have to like stream it or something, but whatever. Let's just get into the picks. So Wake Forest minus 19 at the half, minus 110. This was a win. Wake Forest played Old Dominion, and I think they won by like, I don't know. The actual line score, the actual line of the game was minus 38 for the full game, but I had minus 19 at the half, and that did cover. Old Dominion just a trash team. Wake Forest has a pretty good team overall. I broke it down in episode 1, but yeah, that hit. Under 50.5 in the Army versus Georgia State game, that was minus 120. That was a loss because I think the final score of the game, or the final over-under of the game, like was 54 or 56 or something like that. So it just went a little bit over, and that was because Army just played way better than I thought. Like I thought that Georgia State's defense was way worse than I thought. I mean, I was actually watching this game at Buffalo Wild Wings when I was doing a fantasy football draft, and yeah, the Army just literally kept running it up. They just would not stop scoring, and I was just watching in dismay as they literally just ran the ball down Georgia State's throat and got over the over. So that sucks, but yeah, maybe I should have just bet on Army or something. They won by like 20 or 30. It was pretty, it was a beat down. West Virginia money line, they lost to Maryland. I had that minus 145. I just heard good things on like a one or two podcast or something that I was watching about gambling, and I was like, you know what, I'll take it because West Virginia apparently had the good running back and a good defense, but they were not able to do it. It was a close game, but Maryland ended up eking it out at the end. San Jose State plus 14 versus UFC. That is also an L. God, this is a lot of L's I'm going through. I know. I'm sorry, but we'll get to our winning weight soon enough. So the problem with this game was it was pretty close in the first half, I believe, but then you have UFC. Why did I write UFC? This is supposed to be UCS. USC just ran it up in the second half. So I think the end final score they ended up losing by like 20 or something, 21 maybe. So yeah, that did not cover San Jose State. I do think they're going to be a good team this year. Just USC was a little bit better than I thought. This is actually a win, this next one. Iowa and under 46. Iowa just defense was absolutely just too good for Indiana, and Iowa won. Iowa was minus 3, I believe, as the spread. I probably should have just bet on that as well, because I did think that was going to happen. I did end up betting it, but I just didn't have it in my actual Pick'em podcast bets or whatever. And then this parlay right here, this actually was just gone before. During episode 2, this is already lost because Ohio State played like a Thursday or Friday night game, and they didn't cover the first half, minus 1.5. The other two picks did hit, the BYU money line and the Texas money line. Texas actually smoked Louisiana Lafayette, and I forget who BYU played, but they did win. So 2 out of 3 of these on the parlay hits. So right now my parlay record is just not good. It was 0-2, but I actually did somewhat win/draw. That's why if you look at my parlay record, it's 0-1-2 right now on the screen. So now we're actually going to go through the episode 2 picks. Simona Halep did win. This is just like I said, I showed on the screen. It was Dylan Leeper on Twitter. He's just a guy who I think he's like a short for tennis. He just knows a lot. He has like I think it was a 64% win rate. So I mean, he's going to win some, he's going to lose some. He's due for some losses every once in a while. But Victoria Azarenka was the loss, and Simona Halep was the win. And I think Halep actually went on to win the next round of the U.S. Open as well, so good for her. But Azarenka was taken out. She actually went up. I think she won. She lost the first. She was up in the first set, lost the set, then won the second set, and then lost it. She kind of just like I was actually watching this tennis match just because I bet on it. That's what I'm saying. Like when I actually bet on things, it makes me just watch way more sports. So I was actually watching this, and she kind of just like stopped really trying that hard. It seemed like in the second game. I mean the third set, but she was obviously she's trying. It's for like millions of dollars, but it just didn't seem like it. It was just like it was a blowout in the third set. And then these are actually my baseball picks for the episode 2. Yankees Orioles no run first inning. I said that was plus 110. I said that was going to be a hit, and yeah, I'll bring it up right here. Actually, it's MLB. This was the day, so it's this game right here. Orioles Yankees, and it was John Means pitching. I was like, he's an animal. and it was Ness Cortez. He's also pretty good. And the thing I also said in the video, I didn't make it as one of my picks, but I did say it was oh, sorry about that. But I did say that I think the over and under for runs in the first 3 innings was 2.5, and that also hit. So like I was like, oh, if you're gonna bet on this, you should probably bet on this as well. First, I don't know why the first inning's not there, but it was 0-0 entering the third, so that would have hit as well. Probably should have made it one of my picks, but whatever. We move on. Phillies money line first five. This was Kyle Gibson versus Jesus Luzardo for the Marlins. For the Phils, going Kyle Gibson, obviously, and the Phils just let me down. I'm not gonna bet on the Phils anymore. They just absolutely suck. I will bet against them, but they don't suck. But like they're like the Red Sox. They're just like Jekyll and Hyde. They're either gonna win by a lot or lose by a lot. Like literally yesterday, they beat the Brewers 1-12-0, and then with Brandon Woodruff versus I believe it was Zach Wheeler, and then today they had Aaron Nola versus who was the pitcher? Eric Lauer, I think, and then they lost. The Phillies lost 12-0. So literally just back and forth. They just either are amazing or they're bad. Doesn't make any sense. So that was a loss, and it was the Marlins. I thought that was a for sure thing. The no run in the first for the Cards Brewers. This was, I believe, Adam Wainwright, or I think it was Adam Wainwright versus Freddie Peralta or something, and it seemed pretty good at the time. But sometimes shit. I'll just look it up. I don't know what I'm doing. Where is it? It is. Here it is. 15-4 this game was. Jesus Christ. It was Adam Wainwright. He didn't let up a lot of runs. He did his job. But who was it? It was Freddie Peralta. Yeah, he just let up fucking what, eight runs in the first 3 innings. That's not going to do it for you. I mean, he just absolutely sucked. But he's also pitching today, like the eighth. So he's going to be possibly one of my picks today. I'm not really sure about it. And then let's just go through the last one or two. The Braves lost. This was, I believe, I know the pitcher was Zen Saleta. Zen, I don't know how to say his name for the Rockies, but it was I just Huiscar was pitching for the Braves, and he just didn't finish it. He just didn't pull it out. Yeah, so I'm stupid. It was just 3 runs versus 2 in the first 5, so they did lose the first 5 by 1 run. Huiscar let me down, and then the last thing was a parlay. So it was Yankees first 5 money and Angels first 5 money line. I believe the Angels pushed. They were tied like 2-2 or something at the end of the 5th, and then the Yankees did win the first 5 that day. So this is going to be a draw for my parlays because it didn't really hit, but you also did win money. So if you put a unit on it, you got like the Yankees did hit minus 220. So basically, it's like you just bet a normal unit on a minus 220 bet. So you didn't win a lot of money, but it's not really like losing money. So it's just a draw. I'm just going to mark as a draw. But now we'll actually go into my picks for MLB for today. So these are the games today. So first game is Tyler Anderson versus Jose Urquidy for the Astros and Mariners. I want to bet it's actually going to be part of one of my single parlay I'm going to make today. I'm going to choose the Astros here just because the Astros, whenever they play the Marlins, they just absolutely destroy them. So I'm going to take the first 5 innings minus 205. Both of these pitchers are pretty good. So like this could be an angle for maybe a no-run first inning, but I'm not going to do that because I completely gave up on that. I just lose too many of them. They never really makes any sense to me. Even if it's 2 great pitchers, they still just eke out a run in the first inning. So I'm not going to do that. But let's just kind of look at the stats. So Tyler Anderson, he has a 6-9 with a 4.08 ERA. The 6-9 doesn't really matter for him because he's on the Mariners and they're just like not the greatest team. So like his record could easily be better if he was on a better team, and he was on the Pirates for the first half of the year, so not good. But his ERA plus is 1.23 this year, 3.59 FIP, and a WHIP of 1.1, which is pretty good. All those stats are very good. And then now we can look at Jose Urquidy. He is 6-3, 3.42 ERA. That's just because he's on a better team, the 6-3. Like, so I'm not really worried about that. But he does have a better ERA plus, and a better FIP, and a better WHIP. So yeah, I'm gonna definitely take him. Because better pitcher and just an overall better team that has like right now it's just like a mental gap. Like the Mariners can just not beat the Astros. They play them and they just get absolutely smoked. So I might as well move into right now what this picks is going to be moved with or paired with. So this minus 205, and then I'm going to do it with the Sean Nolan Tuki Toussaint game for the Nationals Braves. And if you do the first 5 innings, you do Braves minus 210. So this is going to be my parlay for the day, plus 119. This is also a game where Nolan is just not really that good of a pitcher, and Toussaint has games where he's good, games where he's bad, but I do think that Braves are just a better team in general, and they're at home. So I'll take this as my single parlay of the day at plus 119. Now let's get to the other picks. So second game is Anthony DeSclafani versus John Gray. John Gray had like a very good beginning of the season, and then recently he's kind of fallen off. Let me check. I believe I have it. Yeah, John Gray. So 117 ERA plus, pretty good. FIP is very good, and his walks and hidden pitches, it's okay. But he's 7-10 with a 4.13 ERA. But then we go to DeSclafani. This is Luke Weaver. I'll just look it up, whatever. Anthony Desclafani. So he's 11-6 in the season. Obviously on a better team than the Rockies, so I understand why that is the big difference. But a 3.24 ERA, ERA plus of 128, FIP of 3.82. So the FIP's actually worse, but everything else is better. Walks in pitch is just around 1. So if the pitching is about even or even better in the case of the Giants, and um, the team is just better, I'm going to take this here. And this is actually a great price. This is just going to be a singles pick because for some reason they're minus 140 right now. If you take them first 5 innings, I know the Rockies are at home, but the Giants have been absolutely smoking as of late. Let's see. I believe they played today 12-3. Even with the Rockies at home, the Giants won 12-3 today, and they won 10-5 yesterday. So I'm definitely going to take this minus 135 as one of my singles pick for this episode. Next game is Kohei Arihara and Luke Weaver. This is a game where I'd probably lean Luke Weaver, maybe because he is the better pitcher out of these two. I don't believe Arihara has played a lot of games this season, and Luke Weaver's, I know the name, so he's probably pretty good. I did look up the stats as well before, so he is a little bit better of a pitcher. But the reason I'm not going to bet on this is plus you got to do minus 165 for the game. I don't know what the first 5 is, but I'm sure it's something similar. And also, let's see, I believe they played today, and the Rangers won 3-1, so I'm not really a big fan of that. And the Diamondbacks were also big favorites. They had Zach Allen going today, and they lost. So I'm just going to completely stay away from that. But just bad teams, I don't really want to bet on it. Joe Ryan versus Tristan McKenzie. This is also going to be one of my picks. I think I gave this out. The episode 1 was one of my first wins with Indians with Tristan McKenzie on the mound. The Twins, you could say, are somewhat of a better team. Not really, because they're a huge letdown this year. And the Cleveland has been coming on recently and scoring more runs. This is going to be one of my picks. Cleveland Indians first 5 innings, minus 140. I do believe Tristan McKenzie is way better than Joe Ryan, and also I just think the Indians' bats have been pretty good as of late. So I'm going to lock that in as my second pick of the episode. Next we have Matt Manning of the Tigers going against Mitch Keller of the Pirates. I looked at the stats for both these pitchers. Both got awful. Both of their ERAs are above like a 5.5. I think Matt Manning's was like a 6.08, and then Mitch Keller's was like I'll just look it up actually. Mitch Keller versus Matt Manning. Mitch Keller, where is it? There it is. Mitch Keller, 4-10 with a 6.23 ERA, and then the other guy was Matt Manning. I fucked it up. Matt Manning. He is 3-6 with a 6.29. So this is a game where like I'm not gonna do it, but I would bet on like over for everything. The first 5 runs, over first 3 inning runs, over the hopefully there's a run scored in the first inning, something like that. Because both of these pitchers got awful. But the only problem with that is I don't really know how good the offenses are of either of these teams as well. So I'm not going to bet anything on this game, but both these pitchers are god awful. That's all I know. Rich Hill versus Sandy Alcantara. Alcantara is actually one of those pitchers who's just on a good team. The Marlins have some very good pitchers, and they even traded away some during before the All-Star break. But they're just not a good team. So like I would want to bet if the Marlins were just hitting better, I would bet on Sandy Alcantara here as a dog. But yeah, I'm not really sure. I think the Marlins will probably win this game, or at least win the first 5 innings. But I'm not going to bet on it just because. And I don't think Rich Hill's been that good. I'm pretty sure they got him from Tampa Bay. He's been kind of like He's not one of the better Mets pitchers. So I'm just going to stay away from this game. But I would lean Marlins, but I'm not going to make it one of my picks. I'm not going to stake my reputation on it. And then we have Luis Gil versus Alek Manoah. Luis Gil, I think he's started 3 games. He's 1-0, and then he has a 0 ERA. He's pitched 15 innings and let up 0 runs. So that's why, and Alek Manoah has been very good, and the Blue Jays absolutely smoked, I believe, the Yankees today. Let's check. Yeah, 5-1. I mean, not absolutely smoking, but pretty solid. And then did they play yesterday? The Blue Jays won 8-0 yesterday, and then 5-1 yesterday, 8-0 the day before. So I mean, I would definitely lean Alek Manoah here, but Luis Gil has been. I mean, he has yet to let up a run in 15 innings pitched this season. So I'm not really sure. I probably will place a personal bet on this, just the Blue Jays to win the first 5 innings, but I'm not going to make it one of my my bets today. Mike Minor versus Matt Harvey. Neither of these pitchers are good. Matt Harvey did have a stint of time where he was like the Dark Knight, I think his nickname is, and he was actually pitching really well in like 3 or 4 straight games, but ever since he has not been very good. And so this is another shitty pitching matchup game. I would bet, if I was going to bet on things, I'd bet the over for everything. Just like hopefully the Royals can just absolutely rake it on the Orioles or something. Like over the runs in the first 3 innings, over the runs in the first 5 innings, over the runs in the first 7 innings, over the runs in the game, things like that, just because neither pitcher is good. Eovaldi versus McClanahan. I think Eovaldi was a little bit better of a pitcher. McClanahan hasn't been that good, but I just will not bet on the Red Sox or the Phillies right now, like just because they're both very up in the air and just you never know what you're going to get out of them. So I'm definitely going to just stay away from that game. As I said before, the Braves Nationals game, this was one of my picks. Yeah, so I'm just going to keep it at that. I would like to bet more on the Braves, but I don't really. They're pretty big, heavy number here at -240 to win the game and -210 to win the first five. This is a Kyle Gibson versus Freddie Peralta, I believe, on the Brewers, Phillies. This just hasn't shown up, but if you actually go and check, this is why I like to have the ESPN app open as well. I believe that's the top game. Yeah, so Kyle Gibson 4-3 with a 4.46. Freddie Peralta 9-4 with a 2.7. I'm gonna bet on the Marlins here. I mean, I can't make it one of my personal picks because I believe the first five innings they're like -180 or something. I just placed a personal bet myself. Like if I was gonna do a I would parlay. I would take this. Like normally I would do this and then parlay it with like another pretty big favorite that I had today. Whatever. Just like if you want to take this line, do not trust the Phillies. And I think Freddie Peralta is just a better pitcher than Kyle Gibson. Kyle Gibson was very good, but his last game was literally fucked me. I talked about it at the beginning of this episode where he pitched against Jesus Luzardo for the Marlins, and he let up way too many runs in the first five innings. So I'm just not gonna. I'm not. There it goes. I'm not gonna back him here, but I would like to bet on the Brewers in some way. I would definitely do that. Gutierrez for the Reds versus Alec Mills. Right now, there's no lines up here, but I took it. This is going to be one of my picks in the money line here. I'm going to do -130 for the Reds. They did win today. I believe they won 3-2. No, they won 4-3 right here today. So that I did this yesterday because the line also wasn't up. When I usually make my bets at late at night. Right now it's 4:57 a.m. So this will probably be going up at like 7 or 8 a.m. So you guys can get the picks in before the games actually start. Because the games I do believe start at like 2 p.m. 2:10 and 3:10 and 3:40 are the early games before the 6:40s and all the 7 o'clock games and all that. So yeah, here I'm gonna take this as as my third and final pick, as well as one parlay this episode is Reds -130, just full game money line, just because I did Gutierrez. Mills hasn't been bad. I think his ERA plus this year is 100, so he's exactly an average pitcher. But obviously Cubs are not a good team, and the Reds did win yesterday, so fuck it, I'll do it again. -130 on the Reds, full game money line. Um, for this Angels Padres game, I know Yu Darvish is pitching just because, like I said, I always like to have ESPN open just to see Yu Darvish 7-9 with 4 or 5, way worse than he was like the last few years. But I'm not really going to bet on it because first of all, I don't know who's going for the Angels. If it ends up being Shohei Ohtani or something, then I'd probably lean the Angels. But and the line's just too. It's -195. They do know Yu Darvish is going. He has games where he's either amazing or bad, but I'm just not really sure about it. And then this last game is Keuchel versus Frankie Montas. I actually probably am going to make a bet myself on something with the Athletics here because Keuchel has just not been good this season. Or like he's just either amazing or he's bad. I think he's 8-9 or something like that on the season with like a 5 ERA or something like that. It's not very good. And Montas has actually been pretty solid. He's a little bit above average as a pitcher, but the problem is that the Athletics did lose today. They were favorites today, and they lost or yesterday, I guess. And the White Sox won 6-3. So I'm just gonna I might stay away. I might just try to somehow bet on the Athletics. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do it, but that is going to be all my picks for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Definitely, I'm going to make a video episode, I guess, tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. It's 5 a.m. on a Wednesday. And then Thursday, obviously, football's back at night. So I'm going to do a video tomorrow breaking down basically just a few MLB picks and then all my NFL picks for the game for week 1, basically. Because there's still a bunch of spreads. We did talk about it, I believe, in episode 1, but there's still a bunch of games the spreads I really like. So we'll get into that, and hope you guys are having a great day. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.